This movie was not at all what I expected, but I really loved it. Welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button if you like this video. Make sure you share it with all your friends. That is the best way to help my channel out. Give me that algorithm love. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I went the other day and saw RoofMan. RoofMan is this new Channing Tatum film that is based on a true story about this man who in the 90s he robbed a bunch of chain restaurants like McDonald's mainly. I think he robbed like several of those. And he was particularly known to enter these buildings through the roof, and he was known for being a super nice guy. Like he would put the employees in their freezer, but he would give them jackets or tell them to put on jackets, and if they didn't have one, he would give them the one off of his back. And one thing that this movie does is it really plays with your morals, but it's also very good at getting you emotionally attached, very unexpectedly too, because you know that this guy is not a good guy. Like even like the cops in the movie say it, the cops in the real interviews that play at the end of the movie say it. He's not a good guy. He robs places. He puts people in harm. But you still can't help but love who this guy is and just love the character. And there's a line of dialogue between him and his friend in the film that there's like, you know, you're one of the smartest guys I know, but you don't know how to use your genius. Like you're a complete dumbass. You're an idiot. And that really explains who he is. He's very nice, and he's stupidly smart with how observant he is, but he doesn't know how to help himself. He's also a big people pleaser as well. I guess I'll just keep rolling with my positives here, and this will be mainly nothing but positives. I got a couple of nitpicks. We'll get to those at the end of the video. Please stick around, especially if you want to see my overall thoughts of the film. Starting with Channing Tatum playing Jeffrey. This is the best Channing Tatum performance I think I've ever seen in my entire life. He hits every comedic note, every single emotional beat. I mean, everything you can think of that's supposed to come from an actor, this guy does it, and he does it in this one film, and it's the best he has ever done it. And this movie is also hilarious. I mean, you got a guy who lives in a Toys R Us after he breaks away from prison, and he's there for like 6 months, and he ends up stalking the manager, played by Peter Dinklage, who's also fantastic in this movie, regardless of what you think about him in real life. I guess he's kind of a Peter Dick, but yeah, anyway. He puts these like baby monitor cameras up, and he's watching the store. This isn't a spoiler, by the way. But he's watching the store, and he's kind of learning who these people are. Kristen Dunst, of course, is in there. She's one of the workers. And he sees how unfairly the employees are being treated, especially Kristen Dunst, by Peter Dinklage's character, who plays the manager, Mitch. And of course, again, true story, all this really happened. And so he ends up kind of living this double life. Also, they focus really heavy on the aspect that he has a family, that he really loves his daughter. He loves giving her things. Again, he's a people pleaser. Ends up getting arrested, of course, because they know he was the roof man. Breaks out of prison, goes to Toys R Us, learns about these relationships, learns who these people are, starts living a double life. And this relationship that he starts building with Kristen Dunst's character is their chemistry is it's a lot similar to like Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone's chemistry and relationship in the Amazing Spider-Man series. Their chemistry feels very similar. Funny enough, Kristen Dunst was Mary Jane. Anyway, yes, their chemistry is very similar. It is very strong. And you also get really attached to the Kristen Dunst character. She's very forgiving. She's also very forward with how she feels. There's moments where like you got another character in the store where he's getting bullied by Mitch, and she doesn't take crap, and she doesn't handle bullies very well, to say the least. And so she helps that person out in a very motherly way too. So she really plays a very well mother. Another thing that I noticed is that her accent is pretty southern. Again, this takes place in, I think, North Carolina, or maybe South Carolina, but I believe it's North Carolina. Charlotte, I believe. Anyway, her southern accent also feels very natural. I'm from the South. My accent can get pretty heavy sometimes, but that's one thing that kind of bothers me is like when I'm watching a movie, the southern accents can feel very strong, kind of like the dude from Tokyo Drift, how his accent's super strong, or in basically any hillbilly, redneck, wrong turn movie, their accents are super strong. Her accent isn't very strong, and a lot of times when you come to the South, that's really how it is. There is an accent, but it's not like, howdy, like it doesn't sound like that. We don't sound like that at all. We can, but we normally don't. And so I really appreciated her dialect on how probably hard she worked on that, and not for it to sound like a joke. It's easy to mimic like a southern accent and it sound like you're mocking or making fun of. So I was really appreciative of that, and it wasn't distracting at all. It was just something that I saw and recognized and really loved. Also, they expand so heavily on the Toys R Us aspect about how you have a grown-ass man living in a Toys R Us for 6 months. They have so much fun with that. If you watch the trailer, which by the way, the trailer doesn't show you a whole lot. It is a very safe trailer. But the scenes you get in there, when they're expanded and you're actually watching the film, it is amazing. It's so outstandingly hilarious in certain moments. Like I've kind of touched on before, you get super attached to these characters. You get really attached mainly to Channing, but also to other people that he interacts with, like Kristen Dunst's character's daughters. I don't remember their names. I have a really bad memory with names. Daughters you get really attached to, and you want to love this guy. You want what's best for him. In the whole movie, you know how it's going to end. You know it's very, like, ill-fated. Like, you know it's not going to end well, especially if you know the true story behind it. But the whole time you're still rooting for him to make the right choices, and sometimes he does. And there's moments where, like, well, I'm not going to say that, spoiler, but you get the point. Okay, he's a great character, easy to follow, easy to love. Is one of the guys that you think you would get along with, but in reality, when logic comes in and hits you, you know it's not going to work out. And just to kind of move on to my mixed here, I guess the only thing I would say about the movie that I would have kind of in the mixed area would be that I wish I had more times with other characters kind of other than Channing Tatum. Like, you're already so set in stone with how you feel about his character, and there are other characters that you wish you could have explored more, like Kristen Dunst's daughters. They are a huge part of the movie, but I think I would have liked to see more of them too. I don't know how that would work out because, again, it's a real story and you have to condense so much to tell the story the way that, it's not like a freaking 4-hour movie. I understand that. I think I would have just liked to rather have seen more characters, because some of the beats that are, especially the emotional beats that are supposed to be sad, I can't relate to those because, for one, I'm not a father. For two, I'm not a felon. For three, I don't live a double life. So it was a little bit harder for me to kind of resonate with that side of it, but the empathy was really there. I really felt for the character, but I couldn't feel maybe how the character felt. And I think maybe there are ways around that where you can get somebody like me to kind of feel that way. And I think if I would have had more time with him, with the other characters, some way or another, I don't know. I noticed that people have cried in this movie, and I didn't. I wanted to, honestly, I wanted to, because I felt like I was almost there, but they couldn't push me over to do it. And the only bad thing that I do have to say about this movie is the pacing. I think you could have taken, funny enough, I was just complaining that there wasn't enough about the other characters, but there's like 20 minutes here that you could have completely chopped off, or at least replaced with extra moments with certain characters that I would have much preferred. But then again, true story, I don't know the legalities of what they had to go through to get this movie made, so can't have your cake and eat it too, I guess. But really the pacing was the only issue. It's a 2 hour and 6 minute movie. I think that it could have definitely been cut shorter. However, I don't regret watching it in that, and I still think even though it is a 2 hour and 6 minute long movie and you do feel the pacing, I'm actually very appreciative of the time I did get with certain characters and even the Channing Tatum character. So yeah, I mean, that's really all I have to say about this movie. Again, best Channing Tatum performance I've ever seen. One of the best stories I've seen this year, one of the most emotional stories, the most surprising movie I think I've seen as far as what I was expecting to what I came out with. Wonderful. It's a wonderful movie. If you haven't seen The RoofMan, please go watch it. It is in theaters right now. One of my favorite movies of the year. I'm going to say it right now. Also, I think it's going to be one of the most rewatchable movies. I cannot wait for it to come out and I can show my girlfriend this movie. If you like what you saw here and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Again, share this video if you liked it, share it with your friends. Again, show me some algorithm love. I really need it and I really appreciate it. The subscribe button and the like button can go a long way for me. You can follow me on all of my social medias. They'll all be linked down in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed watching this video. This is most likely making for you. And I'll see you guys.